All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's such a wonderful time to join and to have you all join this conversation tonight for such a robust and a timely conversation that centers into the blessing of every new year. Every new year gives us an opportunity to stretch our imagination. And therefore, tonight we're going to look at how that does that look like and how do we put structures, principles, and systems to achieve that. My name is Eugene Okanda. I'm a public speaking coach. I'm a leadership trainer. I'm an author. I have published 4 books, working on the 5th one, and I'll be showing you. That later on. I'm also the executive director of Okanda Leadership Academy. I've previously served and I continue to serve as the Kenya United Nations Youth Representative, which gives me an opportunity to share my thoughts, views, and especially commitments for the young people as far as meaningful youth engagement, peace and security, and reduced youth unemployment is concerned. And therefore, tonight we are going to have a robust conversation, and we're going to talk about Vision Board. I was supposed to write there day 1, Vision Board Masterclass. Now, suffice to say, I normally charge a lot of money to do this class. And every year I've been doing vision boards for the past 4 years, and I started by doing vision boards for myself, and I saw the impact it was having. Before I ever did a vision board, I could always look at the costing for people, how much people are charging to do vision boards. Nowadays, it's a bit reduced. The cost is a bit reduced. But back then, people were charging quite a lot of money to just sit into a class and be able to learn how to come up with a vision board. And I sat down. I remember I was able to pay in one of those sessions to one of the person that I saw was fit, because these things are normally done with everyone. Sometimes you look at the leadership and professional experience of some of the people who do these master classes, and you attend some of those master classes, but maybe you never come out with anything. But I hope that out of this conversation will come out with something. But this year, God just placed it heavily in my heart to do this session for free, free of charge. So I may not be able to go extensively into the nitty-gritties of a vision board. I'll do that extensively. We just suffice also to say we are going to have a physical Vision Board Masterclass on the 31st of January. It's going to be physical, and it's going to be cut out only for 30 people. We're going to work with a very small number because of the nature of what we're going to have that day. So maybe after this class today, you may need to make your commitment towards that class. Now, vision boards are very important. It's an instrument of your personal accountability. And friends, if you're not accountable to yourself, you will never achieve anything meaningful. And when you talk about vision boards, what you're going to look at is creating a pathway, because a vision board is like a pathway towards a desired end. And later on, you'll come to realize that a vision board is a platform that gives you to think, to visualize a possible future. So when you sit down to put pieces of what that possible future looks like, you're able to come up with a vision board. And I'll be sharing quite a lot as we go on with this conversation. But also, it's creating signposts. So in your vision board, you have signposts. If you've ever driven on a road, especially people who have driven, really not people who have been driven, but if you've driven and you're driving on a busy or in a destination where you've never been, you rely so much on a Google Maps. So the lady in the Google Maps will always tell you after 300 meters, turn left. So that sense of giving you direction to go to a place you've never been, a vision board gives you that opportunity. It gives you an opportunity to create signposts along your path to destiny. The third thing is that a vision board is creating systems towards a desired end. Listen up, you don't rise on the level of your goal, you fall on the level of your systems. So if your systems are weak, you're always going to work to get weak results. And we're going to start from there in our discussion tonight. So basically tonight, we're going to look at a vision board as a tool in terms of creating a pathway, a signpost systems towards a desired end. Now, where do you get the desired end? Each one of us, when you read the book of Genesis, chapter number 1, verses 26, after God had created everything, and he had spoken the earth into form. He said, let there be light, let there be day, let there be night. And out of the sound of his voice came fish, came trees, came lions, came the antelopes, came the vegetation, the water bodies, the firmament, the upper firmament and the lower firmament. On the sixth day, God comes and say, let us make man in our own image and likeness. And God creates man in his own image and likeness. And if you've done basic physics, you will know that an image is an exact reflection of an object. Therefore, God has given us the mandate to be able to be stewards of that which he created. So he told us to go and multiply, to go and be fruitful, to go and take dominion over that which he had created. And that's why, friends, God did not create tables. God did not create aeroplanes. God did not create tankers. God did not create iPhones. God did not create smartphones. All that was left to the disposition and various expression of men. And it's upon you and upon myself to daily partner with God to making sure that that reality is realized. And therefore, you will come to the conclusion in the course of this class that a vision board fuels from a sense of purpose. You don't create a vision so that you don't create a vision board out of the blues. You don't create a vision board because you want to feel happy. You don't create a vision board because everybody is doing it. You create a vision board because you have a purpose to live for. There is something that pushes you every single day when you wake up. Therefore, when you sit down to create that pathway, you want to create a pathway that takes you away from distraction. We are living in a world that is full of distraction, that is full of disappointments, that is full of things that sometimes tends to take us away from our path to destiny. And when you're walking towards that path of destiny, you're partnering with God every single day. The psalmist writes and say that your word is the light unto my lamp, and it's the light unto my path. So it's both a lamp and it's both a light. And every single day when you're walking through that journey, you're fulfilling God's purpose in your life. So that is very important for our realization. Now, before I go on with this masterclass, allow me just to pass across a few rules of this class. So if you want to say anything, please raise up your hand. So if you want to say anything that possibly has caught your attention, or you want to either add into what I'm saying, this is adult learning, and therefore you have the privilege and the freedom to share your thoughts if you have any thoughts that you want to share. Number two, stay on the task. Make sure that you have a notebook and a pen. Please don't allow your mind to wobble. Don't allow your mind to start going from one end to another. If you can, freeze your phone, or if you're using your phone, freeze your notification for a moment, just for the next 1 hour or so that you can stay on this call to make sure that you grasp everything that I want to pour out. And then the critical element is that you have to respect yourself. You have been able to come to this class, so it's very important that when you're respecting yourself, what I mean is that you make sure that you are benefiting from this very time that you're going to have. Don't just take this moment for granted. It might alter the rest of your life. It might give you perspective that you never had before, and it might fuel a fire within you that was already shut down. Number four, always be a friend. If someone there are quite a number of people who have already shared areas of interest. So if you can be kind enough, like Dennis sharing your contact, I see you've already done that. And if you possibly you have anything that you want to partner with someone, just feel free to do that. And then also show to be a friend, and then respect to others is also going to be very important. And always use kind words. So if someone gives a comment or a suggestion and you don't feel safe or sit well with it, just show some sense of kindness. In a world where you can be anything, please make sure that you are kind. Okay, so as we talk about vision, but today we're going to talk about vision to execution. It's not enough to stay on the vision segment. It's very important for you to move to the execution level. I had mentioned before, I don't think I'd mentioned, I'm married to one Dr. Joanne, and God has really, really blessed us with the gift of family. And everything I'm going to share with you is not coming from theory. I have sat down with my wife and we have been able to draft our family goals. It took us a whole week. Of course, not every single day, but if you can count the number of days we were sitting down, going out, having conversation while moving from one point to another, we were discussing how our family is going to look like next year and the years to come. And one of the commitments we came out of that conversation with, we wrote down, and one of our commitments this week, we are asking God for the grace of execution. Now, listen up, friends. Among all the prayers you're going to tell God and you're going to speak to God in 2026, every single day, not somewhere, if you normally write prayer items like we do, ask God for the grace of execution. It can feel nice to have a cute vision board, but with zero execution ability. You read a scripture like God gives us the power to make wealth. It talks about their innate ability. It talks about the fuel that pushes you to achieving your goals. When you read the book of is it Second Peter chapter 1 verses 3 going down, the Bible said that his divine power has given us everything we need for a godly life. So we are operating not by our own human power, but by the virtue that God is giving us the ability to do the things that he has called us to do. So today we're going to ask ourselves, how do we move from vision to execution? If your execution is poor, your vision is going to crash. And then we're going to look at what are the toolbox to airborne your vision in 2026. You must have a toolbox, like a good carpenter or a good mechanic. You need to have a toolbox. If your vision board does not have a toolbox, it's a poor vision board. You're just creating it so that you can feel good and tick a box. The toolbox is going to have a number of things that we're going to talk about. Clarity, because clarity is king. Systems, because you don't rise on the level of your goals, you fall on the level of your system. Strategy, and to add on that is also that you need to seek the transformation of a culture, the culture that you have been living with for a number of years, maybe between then and now, because they always say in governance circles and in leadership circles that culture will always eat strategy for breakfast. So you can have a good vision board that is a strategy, but if you have poor culture, and culture there I'm talking about lifestyle, that lifestyle is going to eat your strategy, your vision board for breakfast. You're also going to have discipline. Now, discipline is the commitment to do the things that you have said you're going to do. When you wake up in the morning and you said you're going to be waking up and reading the word, you commit yourself to reading the word. If you said you're going to wake up at 5:30, you commit yourself to wake up at 5:30 and you commit to your goals. And then accountability. So we're going to look at vision, toolbox, and execution to making sure that your vision board your vision board is able to take a flight. Very, very important. Now, some of the things and objectives of this masterclass is that we're just going to have an introductory part of it, but clearly, as we get excited to really know what a vision board is and looking at the perspective that I'm bringing on board, we're going to ask ourselves why an average person don't design a practical life plan. Why an average person don't design a life plan, and that includes a vision board. And then we're going to look at psychological filters and their impact. And I'm going to spend a few time there as part of my introduction, because you will always realize there is a friction that is always impairing your ability to move forward. And when as long as that friction is there, and that friction is what I'm calling psychological filters that continue to impact your ability not only to create a vision board, but also to execute on the vision board. And then we're going to look at the importance of planning, and then 3 principles of designing a working vision board. Now, as we continue, so that I can just get to know that you guys are still following, I want someone to just list parts of your body that has 3 letters. I would like to have at least 10 parts of your body that has 3 letters. I don't know who can save the team here. Parts of your body that they have 3 letters. I'd like someone just to open up your mic, your mic, and speak. I can see some of us, you're chatting. Okay, who is that? Go ahead.
Phyllis, I can say 1 and 2, then somebody else adds. Eye
okay,
and ear.
Okay, Phyllis will say eye, and then you said ear. Who else?
I can say leg.
Leg. Okay. One more person.
I can say arm.
I can say toe.
Arm.
Okay, Byron say toe.
Yes.
Arm.
And you want to say okay.
Arm.
Yes, all right, that's good. Any other person? Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
What?
A heart has 4.
Gut.
Oh, gut. Actually, heart has 5. Gut is good. I want you to get to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 more.
We have rib.
Rib, yes, we have rib.
Hip.
Someone can shout.
Lip.
Lip.
Hip.
Okay, hip.
We have gum.
Jaw.
Gum, yes.
Lap.
We have gum.
Lap.
Lap, yes, lap. Okay, that's good. I just wanted to make sure that all of you are still following. That's a good teamwork there. I know some people are struggling, but they have been saved. So we have said eye, ear, leg, toe, arm, gut, rib, lip, hip, gum, jaw. Someone has said also lap. Okay, let's continue. So those are just the 10 that I was thinking when I was making these slides, but you guys have added one more. Let's continue, friends. Some of the shocking statistic why an average human does not make a life plan. Number 1, they imagine things will fall into place. They hope for strategy. Many people are living on the hope level. And you realize, friends, hope is not a strategy. Hope empowers and fuels your strategy. So if you're just clinging on hope, thinking that, wishing that things are going to work, it is never going to work. You have to put yourself into the work. Now, the second one is that they replaces speed with direction. There are many people who confuse speed with direction. You can be going very fast but going nowhere. And it's so unfortunate that we're living in a world where people are copying and pasting a lifestyle. And surely you might do well for the next 5 years and you might skyrocket, and it might look on the eyes of people that you're really catching up with the wind and you're moving so fast. But from the eyes of God, and even when you do your own personal analysis, you know for sure you're not going anywhere. Number 3, they confuse activities or movements with productivity and progress. Never in your life, and never in 2026, confuse movement with progress. You can be doing many things, but exactly doing nothing. Number 4, have the boardroom of their lives full of followers and zero worthwhile, values-driven relationships. In 2026, if you're going to achieve some of your critical goals that you have in your heart, you will be required to reduce the number of chairs in your boardroom, in the boardroom of your heart, in the boardroom of your life, in the boardroom of where you have stored sacred things. You will have to reduce the number of chairs in that boardroom. Even in your lifestyle, there are people who you know and you cannot take them to your house. So when they escort you, they get you to your gates, and then after that you part ways. There are those who can get to your compound, but they never get into the house. There are those who get into the house, but they possibly just sit in the sitting room. You never allow them to get into the into the visitors room. But there are those who will get into the visitors room because of the level of association you have with them. As that keeps on going, in your bedroom, you're only going to allow people who are worthwhile. And if you take that out to mean professionalism, your areas of giftings, your areas of calling, and your area of purpose, it means you have to be very careful who you tag along. Number 5, they buy everything with money. An average human being is buying everything with money, no sense of social capital. Now, in 2026, you have to realize this. If your vision board is going to Airborne, you must be cognizant and aware of the people who form up what we call social capital. Now, these are people who offer you what money cannot buy. They offer you access. They offer you doors to opportunities. They offer you platforms. They offer you the ability to hold a mic. These are people that contribute to your social capital. And that's why your net worth cannot be reduced to how much you have in your pocket and in your bank account. Your net worth is a conglomerate of how many people you know that if today things fall apart, they can come to your rescue. And that is the part of social capital. Number 6, our consumers they're never producing anything. In 2026, you have to make a commitment to be a producer. You cannot be going to TikTok and just be watching reels from A to Z, and you have never even shared even one single thought process of what you have learned. Because everything you see people doing, they learned. They made a commitment to learn, and that's why they're feeding into you. So if you're watching that, nowadays you have to realize, even when you're watching a reel, a TikTok reel, someone is being paid. Someone is earning from your phone. Someone is earning from your laziness. Someone is earning from your lack of production. And in 2026, when you look at your vision board, it has to have the capacity to produce. It must be able to reproduce and be able to be productive and be able to to impact the value chain of your life. Number 7 rather. An average person ride on excuses as an escape route. If you're going to look at your vision board and have it airborne, you must be able to cut out excuses. All the excuses you're going to have in this life, they are valid. I'll tell you for a fact, and quite a number of us who are here, those who have heard my story, I've shared my story quite extensively. Phyllis, you wanted to say something? All right, thank you. And anytime if someone wants to say something, just shoot up your hand, and then I'll be able to pick up on you. So, if those of you who have heard my story, I have a very interesting story, and possibly I'll allow you guys to go check out on YouTube that part of my story. I was raised out of the wedlock. I met my biological father when I was 21 years old. I was a serial failure in school, but I was able to commit myself, and my academic took a turnaround, and I became a good performer, and I excelled in my academics in high school. And through that, God enabled me to find a purpose and a reason of existence. And I did not allow the fact that I was brought up in a broken home to define the kind of a person that I am today. You see, friends, when you're 20 years and above, when you're an adult, you don't have the freedom of telling people you came from a poor background, because you are now the background, and you have to consistently edit how that background is going to look like. So every excuses you're going to have, it might sound cute, it might sound it's making sense, but excuses are going to perforate, and they're going to destroy the potency of your vision board. They blame everyone else around them apart from themselves. And nowadays, people are so quick to blame others for their mistakes. People are so quick to blame others on the poor decisions they're making about life. And it is so easy for other people to go on and start blaming. It's so easy to start blaming other people apart from yourself. But if you're going to make a deliberate transformation, you have to look your face at the mirror and confront the ugly parts of your life. Number 9, they quickly criticize and never build anything. Friends, don't be a part of the bandwagon that is so quick to criticize and you're not building anything. I've come to realize with a lot of humility, people who build anything, they take a thought process before they criticize any other person who is building anything. I have built a number of things. And anytime I come across social media, I see people breaking down or people reach out to me. Where I sit, I receive a number of phone calls to counsel people, to work with people. I am so slow to criticize others because building is difficult. Building is a difficult job. So don't be quick to criticize, but an average person criticizes others and never building anything. Number 10, have fear of unknown about the future. And fear of unknown is a valid fear, but it should not be a fear where you draw your identity from. Number 11, they are professional at procrastinating. Please, procrastination is going to kill your dreams. And you have to make a commitment that every single day, if you've slotted things to be done, get them done. Just have the ability to get things done. Because if that is not part of your expression as a human being, you're going to continuously fall short every single day. The 12th one is crazy. They snooze their alarm more than 5 times and they don't feel anything about it. There are days you might want to snooze your alarm even 15 times, but it should not be the thing that continues to define the kind of a person you are. If your vision board is going to Airborne, you have to commit yourself. If you say you're going to wake up at 5:30, wake up at 5:30, get things done. If you said you're going to wake up at 6, wake up at 6 and get things done. Have this in mind. If you're going to break free, have this in mind. Create a system that you're going to catch yourself doing things correctly. Be a person who commits to catch yourself doing things correctly. It is not easy because this is the fact. One of the toughest jobs you're going to have for the rest of your life is to lead yourself. Leading yourself is a difficult job. And leading yourself takes commitment. It takes discipline. It will cost you everything, to say the least. Now, the thing is, why do these people feel this way? Why do these people continue to do life in this manner? Most of them, it's because of family background. And for some of them, they have gotten an identity from where they've come from. And where you've come from is so powerful if you do not learn how to detach yourself from the roots of your past that continues to make you unable to make upward mobility. And you have to do a personal analysis and ask yourself, what parts of your life and the status of who you are today is influenced by where you came from? There's a family there's a father who raised up 2 gentlemen, and the father used to be a drunkard. He used to drink himself and sleep outside in the cold. And these 2 sons grew up. One of them grew up and had a hatred towards alcohol and drugs and substance abuse. And he became very successful in life. And the other son became a double-charged drunkard. Now, one time, both of them were interviewed separately. And when this successful and this committed young person was asked, why are you like this? And he says, it's because of my father. The other one, who was also double-charged drinker of alcohol and an abuser of substance abuse, when he was interviewed, he was asked, why are you like this? Why are you living this kind of a life? And he said, it's because of my father. And friends, again, where I sit, I interact with quite a number of people through the virtue of my coaching work. And sometimes when you're having conversation with people, some of them will point back to their background. You have to make a commitment to cut yourself from your past that continues to affect your future. Previous failure and disappointments, they continue to affect our upward mobility. Complacency as a result of lethargy. There are people who are just lethargic in everything that they do. They don't have a personal driven they don't have a personal drive towards their vision. There is no sense of urgency. Environment and surrounding statistics, because of the virtue of the people you hang around with, it will continue to affect the results you get. No mentorship and coaching. It is so sad that an average professional does not have a coach. You don't have someone who is able to give you perspective. While in the world of athletics and football and sports, and from where I sit, I am a product of coaching programs. I'm a product of mentorship. I did not just start doing these things because I wanted to do them. I stand on the shoulders of people who have gone ahead of me. And people who love mentorship and coaching, they will always you will always see potholes in their upward mobility. They might look like they're making progress. And I've met people who said, me, I can't be mentored by anyone. I can't be coached by anyone. Any person who loves mentorship and coaching, it will always reflect on the future of the kind of people that they become. Lack of inner motivation to invest in personal growth. And investing in your personal growth is critical. Later on, you'll realize that a vision board will give you perspective on how much you need to budget to invest in your personal growth. Because your personal growth does not come by assumption. Your personal growth is a reflection of how much you have budgeted for your growth. If your financial goals for next year does not have a budget for your personal growth, books to buy, programs to attend, coaching sessions to pay for, that vision board will look the same in 2027. The other thing, nothing has worked before. They feel they have exhausted their trials and options. Never get to this point where you feel like you've done everything. If you feel like you've done everything, you have actually not done everything. If you've ever been in a corner of life, you've ever been in a place of life where everything has been squeezed out of you, you will realize you have not tried all the options. And the last thing, nothing has worked before. They feel they have, okay, I've talked about that. Nothing has worked before. They feel like nothing has worked before. So if nothing has worked before, therefore nothing can work now and nothing can work later. And the battery, if you look at this, if you look at your screen, the battery of such kind of people is continuing to show red. And their rooms is scattered. Look at the person on your screen. There is utter disappointment. And this is the bad news. No one is coming for you. No one is coming. And you have to make a commitment to deliver yourself from that. Now, there are a number of things that affect your vision board from where I sit. There is one of the chemical hormone that God blessed humanity with. It's called dopamine. Dopamine is such a powerful neurotransmitter that you have, because if you've done basic biology, you understand that dopamine is a neurotransmitter that drives motivation, focus, reward, and pleasure. It doesn't just make you feel good. This neurotransmitter makes you want to act. But you have to realize that it doesn't just work out like that. There's a system you have to build around your dopamine effect. Now, dopamine is a powerful servant, and I can tell you that for sure. But dopamine can be a dangerous master. Dopamine is the reason why there are people who do exemplary well. But dopamine is also the result of why people are fallen into addiction. So it can be your ally or it can be an addiction. And therefore, you have to train your dopamine towards discipline, growth, and purpose, not just for pleasure. Now, if you look at your screen, there are two divergent parts of your dopamine effect. And dopamine is going to be very important as far as your vision board is concerned. We are still trying to unearth the unknown as we go to the known. So your dopamine will always give you the instant reward. So the pleasure of the immediate, social media, snacking and entertainment, small tasks. And most of the time when you have created that dopamine reward pathway in your brain, you will never have the ability to do the deeper work, because the delayed reward part of your dopamine is what you call success. And success, here we are talking about delayed gratification, because when you have your dopamine into control, you are able to have long-term goals, and long-term goals is an outcome of delayed gratification. You are able to do deep work challenges. You're able to get yourself seated down, read, so that for people who have their dopamine into control, they get the reward after the work is done. So like today in the morning, there's there's a material I'm working on, and today I was working on chapter 4. It has like 6 chapters, and when in the morning I was feeling a bit lazy. I just want to continue sleeping and all that, but I woke up and I was able to get myself on my gadget, and I was able to work it out. And for about 3-4 hours, I was able to be done, and I felt so good about it. And you have to create that reward system. For example, your phone. If you're going to, and we are going to discuss this more in our next masterclass, because your vision board and the habits you build is supposed to marry. If you have poor habits, it will always crash your vision board. And a good habit is a reflection of a disciplined dopamine release in your mind, which is very, very critical. So, for example, your phone. When you have your phone and your phone has 5 notifications, there is a Facebook notification, WhatsApp, Instagram, TikTok, Telegram, and all those apps that you can think about. Every time you go to your phone and you have all these notifications, there is a way it affects how your day will span out. Because when you click out on your WhatsApp notification, you go to WhatsApp and you get quite a lot of things that you need to respond to. If you go to Facebook, there is a lot of things that you need to respond to. So one time I sat down with myself and I told myself, I'm going to toggle off all notifications from my phone. So every time I want to use WhatsApp, I go to the app. Notifications don't tell me what I need to do with my phone. And this is one of the ways you discipline your dopamine effect. The other thing that I did, I removed all applications from my home screen. So if you open my phone, I wish I could be able to show you. If you open my phone, the thing that pops up on my home screen is a calendar. So it's a calendar because I have to check the things that I need to do. My calendar has a to-do list. My calendar has the things that I need to. It has the small commitments of my vision board. And if your dopamine effect is not gotten into control, it will crash your goals. Now let me go a bit deeper on this, because the other thing is that that is so critical also for our observation. After we have talked about your dopamine effect and how it affects your goal setting ability, is what we call habituation. Now, what is habituation? Habituation is the process by which an animal learns to ignore stimulus that does not reward or harm it. So this is an inbuilt neurological ability that helps us to focus on what matters and tune out of the things out of our brain that does not need our focus. Now I'm going to come on us for a moment, because you realize that the habituation effect, for example, if you look at the screen, the rat that is on that slide, you look at there's a food on the other far end, but this food is hidden, and this food has continued to be having that aroma for a continuous number of time, and this rat has been exposed to the effect of that food, and it has been there for quite a long time. Now, the amount of time it has been exposed to that aroma without access to it, it makes sense out of the fact that it is not necessary for me, because it has built a mental or an inbuilt neurological feedback. This is now becoming meaningless because I cannot be able to achieve it. It's too far from me, and it's not accessible. And if you look at it, it has food already. So by the virtue that it already has some food, it will not have the ability to pursue. Now, let's go a bit deeper, because habituation will always have an impact on your goal setting and your vision board, so to say. So this is it. Number one, it will take you to old patterns that feels normal. So for some of us in this call, you have heard the word vision board for a long period of time. People have talked about vision board. Some people have even castigated vision boards and New Year's resolution. Therefore, people have ended up living by wishful thinking. People have ended up hated vision boards because they feel like I've heard of this thing over and over again. You're falling under the attack of habituation, because your brain, every time it hears vision board, it hears goal setting, it hears setting a plan. When it hears coming up with a future plan, it tunes out, because the level of exposure to it, and by the virtue that maybe you created a vision board and things did not work, you end up falling on old patterns that feels normal. So for you, comfort becomes mistaken for progress. So familiar routines also feel safe even when they are unproductive, because your mind has tuned off the ability to sit down and come up with your goal, with your vision board, so to say. I will also say this as I continue. Creating a vision board is a difficult job. It is not just a one-day activity, and I'll tell you for a fact, and there's something I'll be sharing with you at the tail end of this class. It is a tough job. And if you have continued to be a product of your old patterns, there is no way you're going to make a productive vision board. Number two, habituation will cause an automatic self-sabotage. What do I mean? The brain defaults to what it knows. Because for you, or for many people, you have always known, I can just maneuver through life. I can maybe apply for one job here and maybe another one here. Even your job search is not strategic. You just send emails everywhere, every now and then. It is not strategic. You're not having targeted, you're not looking for targeted opportunities. So your brain end up defaulting to what you know. New goals clash with old habits. Old habits continue to be so loud in your space. Now, this automatic self-sabotage also after this automatic self-sabotage, number three, you lose urgency or loss of urgency. Now, big goals for you lose emotional weight over time, because things have never worked for you. You have always known this one does not work. Vision board becomes decoration instead of a driver, because you have always heard about a vision board. So even creating one becomes burdensome. And the last one of the other effects of habituation is lowered standards. What you tolerate becomes your baseline. What you tolerate becomes your baseline. You stop stretching, reviewing, and refining. Because for you, you have always known that vision board has never worked. And maybe we might need to do an assessment, and there are going to be a few opportunities I'm going to announce at the tail end of this class if you're going to stay up to the tail end. Maybe for some of us, you need to do an audit. Are you doing a vision board because it is a cute activity to do? Or are you doing a vision board because there are things you have to achieve? Because even when you're compartmentalizing your 2026 into quarters, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter, you are able to be very cognizant, because for so many of us, your first quarter will be a quarter whereby you need to build an identity. So what do I mean? You create goals, but you don't do them with intensity. You do them with consistency. So you do small bits. If it's gym and you're going for workout, for a number of us in this call, habituation has led you to stop working out. You dropped your gym gears. You paid for gym subscription that you have never gone. You have always been talking about going to the gym and you have never gone even a single day, because many times when people begin the year, they begin the year with intensity. I want to go to the gym for 1 hour. I want to start writing my book, and you start writing your book 20 pages. I want to read a book, and you want to read a book 30 pages. Maybe as we begin the year, and I'll be sharing a few books that you're going to be reading next year in our WhatsApp wall. It's just about asking yourself, can I read 10 pages of a book? When you're reading 10 pages, it might look like you're making slow progress, but you're voting for your identity. You tell yourself, I'm going to the gym for 20 minutes, and these are the workouts that I'm going to do. Again, it's not just about going to the gym. You come up with your workout routine. If you're a gym nerd like myself, I know the workouts that I do in the gym. If you can look for a gym instructor, or if you go to a gym, where I stay, we have a gym on the rooftop. So it doesn't have a gym instructor. I just have the number of workouts that I do every single day. And so when you go to the gym, your mind has already been determined. These are the things that I'm going to do. But you start with consistency. You're looking for consistency, because consistency is going to give your identity life. In the second quarter is whereby you now start pushing your limits. So if you are reading 10 books, 10 pages of a book, 10 pages of a book in a day, you push it up to about 15 pages, and you keep pushing. Do you know, friends, if you read 10 pages of a book every single day you just read, you commit yourself to read only 10 pages. By the end of the month, you'll have read at least one book. At least you'll have read one book. If you read 20 pages of a book, at least by every month, you'll have read at least 2 books. So for the first quarter, as we'll be getting to vision board and how that looks like, you look for consistency, not intensity, because intensity will lead you to burnout. Consistency will lead you to productivity. And you want to seek consistency because you want to vote for your identity. And then quarter 2, you start pushing limits. When we get to quarter 3 is when you are going to do heavy lifting, because it is in quarter 2 now where you want to make sure that you are catching up with everything that you needed to get done. If it's a job, if it's a promotion, you've gotten it. If it's a job opportunity, you already have, and you are already making a statement of excellence in your workplace. If it's a book, you're getting it published. If it's a website that you wanted to work on it's already in place. Quarter 3 is a quarter where you do heavy lifting. Now, quarter 4, like right now, it is now a quarter where you evaluate and plan for the next year. So this quarter is not a quarter where you might be able to do major of the work. It's a quarter where you reflect where the loopholes are and what you need to do so that you can get to catch up with your goals and with your ambition. Because you have to break what I call, and some of these terms I'm using, they're very technical terms, but they're very important terms that affect who you are. Because if this thing we call vision board, setting goals, making a plan, continue to come to your mind, it leads you to what we call semantic satiation, satiation, where which is a psychological phenomenon where repetition of word or a phrase causes it to temporarily lose meaning for the listener. So if you continue to listen to a statement like goal setting, making a vision plan, and you have not made a commitment to cut yourself out from how you've had this statement before and how it has affected the kind of a person you are, it will continue to affect who you become and what you think your life to become as well. Now, the brain stops reacting to what it sees too much. Now, this is one of the reasons why many vision boards in the second quarter, they stop making sense, because you have tried everything. You have tried following up on your habits and your skills, and things are not adding up. And this semantic suggestion has continued to affect the way you see, the way you look at how your vision is supposed to turn out to be. Now, how do you break from this brain habituation or filter? Because, friends, if you don't work on some of these things I'm talking about, your vision board is just going to be a decoration on your wall. You have to ask yourself, what are the things that are affecting who I become and what I become as a person? So if you look at your screen, the process of bypassing this habituation filter, as far as your vision board is concerned, now the y-axis has the meaning and the x-axis has exposure. So you'll realize at your first encounter with your vision board. So we're talking about January and February. So January and February, people are excited. So the shorter the exposure, the higher the meaning. So if you look at maybe if the exposure is, let's say, 1, the meaning is 6. And this exposure continues to give you excitement. So mostly in January, people are fasting, and that's why most churches they put prayer and fasting, long extended prayer and fasting moments in January, and people are fasting, people are praying. In January, people are excited, people are looking forward to the year. The exposure, their brain exposure, their dopamine is just lighting up, and they're feeling so excited about it. But as they continue to be exposed to their vision and their dreams, the meaning erodes. And the longer the exposure, without a system that can help you to stay on track, the meaning goes to 0. And this is the reason as to why many people, by March, if you ask them, where is your vision board? They cannot tell you exactly what the vision board looked like. So how then do you do that? Number one, you have to change your frame. So to keep meaning high, you must interrupt familiarity. And I'll show you how to break familiarity with your vision board, because when you get too familiar with your vision board, you stop doing the basic work. So number one, change the framework. Ask new questions about the same goal. And this means that you might need to have like weekly reviews, intentional weekly reviews, intentional daily reflections, intentional monthly reviews, to making sure that you stay on track. You ask new questions about the same goal. You have to reward it, revisualize it, and recontextualize it. Number two, introduce novelty. Now, what do I mean by that? New milestones, new metrics, new environment. I have come to realize that, I don't know how many of us you can agree with me. I just don't know what Java has. Every time I go to different Javas and just spend there, maybe I'm taking a cup of coffee or I'm evaluating something. When I move from one Java to the other, it gives me a different note as far as my goals and my dreams are concerned. I'll find that I am experiencing a new exposure. So try to create moments with your goal, with your dreams. And that's why after you've created sort of a vision board, you might need to come and have a vision book. So a vision book gives you an opportunity to evaluate, an opportunity to ask yourself new questions, an opportunity to re-envision and recontextualize. Number three, attach action to exposure. Don't just see the goal, act immediately. So if your vision board says that by 2026, you need to apply for leadership fellowships, make sure you know which organizations are offering leadership fellowships next year, and make sure that you go deep into the work and getting that work done. Action reactivates dopamine and urgency. That's just as it is. And the last one, which is critical, create review rhythms. Create review rhythms. Weekly reflection instead of daily passive viewing. So most of the time, we normally have like for example, in our house here, we have weekly reviews where we sit down and evaluate our goals. What are we looking forward to achieve this week? What are we looking forward to do this week? What are the prayer items for this week? When the week comes to an end, we also evaluate. Every single day, there are moments of reflection, and you have to create a priority for reevaluation, because reevaluation will give your vision board and your vision book perspective. So where does all this begin? Number one, your vision board has to be a reflection of your purpose. You also have to define what are the critical goals that you want to achieve this year. And then you have to making sure that you are also able to sort of compartmentalize your life into segments. So I will be sharing something later on. As I said, I have created a vision book. Not a vision board, a vision book, because I understand maybe by now you have your own vision board, something that the pictures you look at on the wall and all that. So I have a vision book, and this vision book has broken the life of a person into 10 segments. Now these 10 segments include career, it has financial, it has spiritual and faith, it has personal and intellectual growth, it has emotional well-being and mental health. It has physical health. It has family, marriage, and relationships. It has social capital and networking. And number 8, it has hobbies, talents, and recreation. And then number 10, it has community contribution and impact or legacy. So those are the 10 critical pillars that forms your goals. So you have to define your goals. Your goals should be a reflection of your purpose. And your purpose is your reason of existence. Is it in connection with your workplace or your career profession? And then number 3, now you start developing a plan. Now, before you develop a plan, you must evaluate your goal. So like the vision board I'm going to show you, it has a place whereby you're able to do a status review of where you are. If you look at your career, can you say you're fulfilled? Can you say that you are living a purpose-driven life in your career, and then you're able to award yourself marks out of 10? You give yourself marks. For example, if in your career you give yourself a 4, if you give yourself a 4, it has metrics over which you're able to assess your growth. Now, when you do that evaluation, now you go into plan. So planning is where you try to envision and stretch your imagination as far as your future is concerned. When you've developed the plan, number 4, you implement strategies. Now, strategies is going to also be a reflection of the culture you have built around yourself. So if you've been struggling to waking up in the morning, that culture, if you don't work it up, it is going to affect your strategy. Because if possibly you're supposed to be going for meetings early morning, you'll find that you're always late. You're always being caught up with time. And then number 5, you monitor your progress. A vision board that is not monitored is not achievable. A vision board that is not monitored, it's not reviewed. In the vision book that I have created, that I'll show you shortly, it has an opportunity where you're able to monitor your progress weekly. I have done weekly because by the end of the week, you're able to give yourself a honest review of how you're doing in terms of your careers, in terms of your career, in terms of your health, in terms of your social networks, and all the areas that I've segmented. So it all begins by you doing these 5 things. Okay, let's continue. Now, after you have done that, now you start to put pieces of your future together in form of a picture, in form of a writing. Now, if you look on the screen, this building is called Chrysler Building. This building is in New York. When I was in the US attending the General Assembly as the Kenya United Nations Youth Representative, I happened to see this building, and it is actually what inspired me to have it in my training notes. This building is humongous. It's huge. It is marvelous. This building is, if you look at it, I mean, it's such an amazing building. But when I went back to search for this building, I was shocked to actually find a plan for this building. Every magnificent building was first a drawing on paper before it stood on the ground. Every magnificent building, like this Chrysler, the Chrysler building on my slide, every magnificent building was first a drawing on paper. What does that mean? Your goals, your dreams must stand on paper before they can stand on the ground. The power of the pen must be stronger so that the power of the steel can be visible. If you don't have the habit of writing down your goals and your dreams, that is just wishful living, and you should break free from that. Now, someone can ask me, then, Okanda, what is a vision board? A vision board basically is, and we have come from very far, we have come from the unknown now to the known as we wind up this conversation. So when you look at your vision board, there's something that you can curate and put it on the wall, or something that you can portably carry it around. A vision board is a representation of your goals, your dreams, and aspiration using images, words, and symbols that inspire and motivate you to achieve your desired future. It is a visual representation. And this visual representation can either be pictures or it can be words. So, for example, I'm not sure if you're able to see. So this, I know you may not be able to see because I've blurred my screen, but I'll be showing you shortly just here in the class. When you have a visual representation of your goals, every single day you become accountable to your dreams because you can see it. In the next masterclass, we're going to talk about habit formation and habit stacking. If you're not going to build habits that are visible, for example, saying, I'll be going to the gym in the morning, before you sleep, you have your gym wear in a visible place, you have your shoes and everything in place. If you say yourself that in the morning I'll be reading a book, you have your reading desk with the book that you're going to read, it is right on your table. That visual representation helps you to achieve your goals. If it's food, make sure that it is you can actually see it. Now, this vision board serves as a tangible reminder of one's ambition, reinforcing focus, which is critical, clarity, and intentional in pursuing personal and professional goals. So it is a reminder. Your vision board is a reminder. And on the 1st of January, on my YouTube channel, we have already done a video on a vision board. Some of the things I've talked about here, but also just a lot more of the things that I have, the content that I've developed around this. One of the things I've said in that video clip is that a vision board is a timely reminder of what you need to do. Just like the one you can see on the screen. Now, a vision board, number one, is not a magical wand. It needs action and consistency. It is not just you moving magically and moving from one point to another. No, it needs action and consistency. A vision board is not a wish list. A vision board align it with your identity and values. Later on in the conclusion of this class, I'll be talking about identity-driven vision board. If your vision board is not inspired by who you are, it is not going to be achievable. Now, another thing, number three, a vision board is not a one-time exercise. It is not you attending this masterclass today and saying that now you know everything about a vision board. A vision, it must be revisited and refined. Like, you need to do the work. You see how you shop for your employer every single day? You need to shop for your dreams like that every single day. Because there is no way you can be helping other people build their vision when you yourself, you don't have a sense of direction. You will disappoint both the company and yourself. So a vision board is not a one-time exercise. Number four, a vision board is not a substitute for action. Don't have a vision board or a vision book and think you've already achieved. No. Strategic planning and effort will drive those goals. Strategic planning and effort. And every single day you have to consistently ask yourself, how are you going to do it? It is not a guarantee for success. By the way, having a vision board is not a guarantee that you will succeed. A mindset and resilience turn that vision board into results. So that's why before I started talking about these things, I talked about the psychological filters that affect why people don't achieve their goals. So mindset and resilience is critical. And lastly, a vision board is not a collage of just pictures. It is not you just going to Pinterest and picking pictures and putting them and feeling good about it. It's also about you using words that spark emotions and direction. Getting scripture. If you confess Jesus, if you confess God, if you know the Lord, you wake up and pray over your dreams and your goals. It gives me so much joy when today in the morning I was waking up and I was laying my hands on my vision, on my vision board, on my dreams, on my goals for the week. It gives me so much pleasure. I can see it. A vision board is a tool. It's not a shortcut. Now, this was my vision board in 2024. And 2024, I crafted something that can push me up to 2030. So each of these pictures represent a particular aspect of my life. And there's some that have already been achieved, and there are those that I'm still working on it. But after I created this vision board, I now started doing what I call a vision book. So each element of these pictures of the vision board is part of a book that I will be showing you in a short while. That now every single day I am writing, every single week I'm evaluating. I'm asking myself, what do I want to achieve and what do I need to do? Now, failing to plan is planning to fail. A study highlighted by Michigan State University Extension found that 76% of participants who wrote down their goals, developed action plans, and provided weekly progress updates to a friend successfully achieved their goals. 76%. That they have a goal, they have developed a plan around it, they have weekly progress around it, and they update a friend. Because after you have been accountable to God and to yourself, you have to be accountable to someone. It can be your spouse. And that's why some of you are joining this class with your spouses. Because I asked some of you to join with your spouses. It is so sad when you're moving in one direction and your spouse is moving in another direction. It will puncture your progress. Because working with someone who is not in one direction with you, it will affect your progress. Micah chapter 3 verses 3 says, can two walk together unless they agree? To ask that question. Now, in contrast, only 43 of participants with unwritten goals reach their objectives. Objectives, not even their goals. Demonstrating that 33% of success rate for those who planned and tracked their progress. There's a 33% higher success rate when you have your goals, you have your action plan, and you have a weekly progress, and you're able to update a friend. Now, writing down your goals boosts your chance of succeeding, which is critical. Even research shows that structured planning brings purpose and clarity. In fact, structured planning empowers your identity as an individual. A study examining Indonesian emerging adults found that planning predicted the presence of purpose and the realization of one's career calling. Planning, just sitting down to plan and coming up with systems that helps you to do that. Finding deeper meaning in life and fulfillment in one's career, because you have to plan with purpose and move forward with clarity. You plan with purpose. You ask yourself, what do I need to achieve this year? And if you're thinking about the vision board, your vision board has to have 3 critical characteristics, which I call 3 principles of you creating a vision board. It must be identity-based. Who you are as an individual. If who you are is not put into structure, then you're going to just come up with New Year's resolution that does not have direction. Identity-based. Your vision board should be identity-based. Who are you as an individual? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Have you ever asked yourself, who am I? What has God called you to achieve? So that when you are coming up with a vision board and the vision book that I'm going to talk about, it is not wishful thinking. It is a result of the mission you have. Number 2, vision, values, and mission-based. 3 critical elements. Mission, vision, values-based. Your vision board should be a reflection of your vision. It should be a reflection of your values, and it should be a reflection of your mission. If I ask you today, what is your vision statement? Yes, I know you can quote the vision statement of the company. And sadly, many people forget the vision of the company 2 weeks after they start working in that company. So if I ask you, what is your personal mission statement? My personal vision statement as Okanda is to be a high-capacity professional seeking opportunities that empowers the human capital. That is my vision. I want to be a high-capacity professional. So everything I'm doing in 2026, if it is not helping me to becoming a high-value professional, I don't have time with it. My mission as Okanda is empowering human capital for institutional transformation. That is my mission. My values are 4 P's: pursuit, professionalism, peoplehood or people-centered, servanthood. Those are the values that defines the kind of a person that I am. But number 3, your vision board should be accountability-based. Who are you reporting to? If you don't have someone you're reporting to, and I will encourage as many of you as possible, if you're here, you have a spouse, please get an opportunity to do a coaching session together with your spouse. Don't imagine they will grow. If you're going to be the savior of your spouse, please be. If you're going to be the person who's going to give your spouse perspective, please be. That marriage is going to be beautiful because you're hand-holding your spouse. They may not like it. They may not want it, but you tell them the reason as to why this is important. If you're here and you are in a relationship that is leading to marriage, please do a coaching session with a coach. Get to pay for a coaching program. Sit down with a professional who will help you guys to answer deep questions about where you are going. I've said it one more time, and I'll say it: plan with purpose and move with clarity. Now, in the vision book that I have created, as I come to a conclusion, as we talk about systems, because now I've talked a lot about the vision board, what it entails, what it is not, what it is, and how you can be able to making sure that you are the 3 principles that defines that vision board. I have created a personal vision book that helps professionals, individuals stay on track. Because friends, your vision board is not going to help you stay on track if you do not have systems around it. Now, this vision board, if you look at my next slide, it has broken your life into 10 pillars. So, for example, if you look at your slide, I have pillar number 1, and I also pasted pillar number 4 and pillar number 8. For example, the pillar number 1 is on career and profession, career, profession, and vocation. So, in that section, let me take a sip of water. In that section of career, profession, and vocation, you have to make sure that you come up with a vision statement. Write your ultimate career professional goals. What are your goals for your career? And of course, the page is not as small as it is on the slides because I was trying to capture it the way it should be. And then the other thing that, let me see this comment here for singles in the house, who can be their accountability part? Oh, yeah, thank you, Faith, for that. For the singles in the house, make sure that you have 1 or 2 friends who you have date outs, you have coffee dates, and just exchange ideas with your friends. You can come up with a community of people around you. And that's why at Okanda Leadership Academy, we have the Okanda Leadership Academy learning platform. That WhatsApp wall is not going to be an ads platform. It's going to be a platform for us to learn. So if you're making progress in what you're doing, you can also share with other people what exactly you are doing as an individual. So in addition to you creating a small social group, we have the WhatsApp wall that is going to help us to be accountable to one another. And there's a lot of information that I'm going to be sharing on that platform as well. So if you're in this call and you're not in the WhatsApp wall, I'm going to share that with you in a short while. And then you come up with an inspiring quote, add a quote that resonates with your career. So you're also able to do that. And each of the pillars have a place where you write. You write your thoughts, you write your ideas, you write what you want to achieve, as important as it should be. When you go to financial, what is your financial goal? Because every pillar, if you're talking about physical health, you must have a goal. What is the overarching goal for that pillar? And then you go on and on to come up with tangible steps that you're going to do to making sure that you achieve that goal. For example, networking, which is the 8th pillar in the vision book. You have to ask yourself, what is your networking goal? Define how you build your key connections for growth. So you end up adding clubs, groups, or forums you plan to join. So you write those things down. And each of these pages, it has sufficient space where you write down, where you can pin sticky notes, where you can get small sticky notes that you can pin on the pages of this vision book. This vision book is meant to help you to build systems around your goals and your ambitions. So these pillars help you to envision each area of your life. This is what we call the wheel of life. So for example, if you go here, each part of the pillars forms up the wheel of life. And every single day, not every single day, every single week, you're able to evaluate each of the pillars to ask yourself, where are you and how are you becoming better? So in the other section of that personal vision book, there is a weekly review page. So after every week, it has 56 weeks. So the 56 weeks, of course, the 4 weeks or 5 weeks for every month. And then after every 4 weeks or 5 weeks, there is a monthly review. So this is the weekly review. So you write down, what are your top achievements for the week? What are the challenges that you are facing? And how will you overcome them? What are the focus areas for next week? So you're also able to write it down. Someone was asking me, how does the vision book looks inside? This is actually how it looks. So it has the 10 pillars, and each of these pillars, you are able to come up with each goal, each action, each timeline, because your vision they have to be smart, they have to be measurable, they have to be they also have to be timed, or they have to have a timeline. So each of these pillars, if you look at number 4, you're able to evaluate progress for each of the pillars. So for example, career. In that week, you realize that possibly there are areas of your career that you're struggling. So when you rate yourself, possibly you'll give yourself a 5. When you go to the other page, it gives you the performance indicator. So anything between 1 and 3, it needs a transformation. So it is in the transformation zone. So this means that it highlights healing gaps, marking persistent weakness, fear, and plan to start to improve. So, and then anything between 4 and 6, you are able to write specific areas that you're able to work on. And then anything between 7 and 10 is on the growth zone. So you have to celebrate those victories. You have to list new proactive habits. So if you're doing well in terms of 7 to 10, that means you need to you need to break the limits and look for better challenging goals in terms of that pillar, for example. And then your adjustments for next week. You're able also to come up with adjustments for next week, and notes and personal reflection corner. So you're able to come up with your personal reflection, and each of the page also has a quote. Like for example, this one has this quote from Winston Churchill, that success is not final and failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. That gives you a sense of zeal to keep on going and to keep on pursuing your dreams. Now, at the end of every month, there is also the monthly review and evaluation. So accomplishment for this month, you're able to write down your accomplishments for this month, challenges and solutions implemented. What are the challenges that you faced, and what did you do in terms of making sure that you achieved them? And then number 3, insights and lessons you learned. So in that month, you also come up with, you also write down specific lessons that you learned for that month. And then you write down adjustments for next month. So you also come up with a specific goal for next month, and then goals for next month. You also write down specific things that you need to achieve next month, as far as those specific pillars are concerned. And then also I've said this, at the end of every week, also at the end of every month, you evaluate your 10 pillars. Because friends, if you don't evaluate these 10 pillars, you're going to have a wishful thinking around your goals. So also at the tail end of every month, you also evaluate your career, finances. How are you doing financially? How are you doing in terms of your personal and intellectual growth? So out of 10, you give yourself marks. And then you go back, anything between 1 and 3, it is in the transformation zone. So there is also suggestions of what you need to do there. Anything between 4 and 6, it is in the it is also in the development zone. Anything between 7 and 10, it is also in the growth. So it means you're doing so well in that. And then also you evaluate, because the more you continue doing this, you're able to build an identity. And I assure you, by March of 2026, if you consistently do this, by March you'll have built an identity-based vision board and vision book that gives you momentum. I told you, in the first quarter of the year, you don't look for intensity, you look for consistency. So you make sure that every aspect of your life, you're doing them with small bits, but you do them so well. In our next masterclass, I'll be talking about the principle of aggregation of marginal gains. How do you know that you're making progress? How do you track that progress? And how do you document that progress? And this vision book also helps you to do that. Now, this vision book is actually available. And after this call, I'm going to share the link. You can be able to order your copy. When you order the copy of this vision board, let me show you something. Let me just stop my screen and show you something. Are you guys still there? Are you learning? Let me just not assume that you guys are following. Are you guys learning? All right. Thank you for those emojis. They keep me going as well. So let me share with you something that I've been able to. So this is how the vision board looks like. So this vision board is it is an A3. It is an A3 vision board. So what that means is that you can, this one you can be able to print it out and have it in on the wall of your office or the wall of your bedroom. So it has the 10 pillars and then it has the life plan. So up here you're able to write my life plan is, you write your life plan, and then why is it important, and then you're able to write down your bigger picture of what you want to achieve, and then also you write down your values. What are the specific values? And then in each categories of the pillars, you write what is the goal, what is the action step, what is the timeline, what is the horizon. Horizon here means that is it a long term? Is it long term, short term? In the timeline section here, you need to make sure that you write, is it a 5-year goal, a 10-year goal? So if it's anything between 5 and 10, it's a long term. If it's anything between 1 and 4, it is a medium term. If it's anything between 0 to 1 year, is a short-term goal. So you write here on the horizon section, you write short-term. And then you also write what are the resources and support that you need. And then what is the progress update. So this vision board is also available for you. And then the last thing is that this is basically how, let me show you this. Let me show you this. So this is basically how the vision book is looking like inside. So this is how the vision board looks inside. Are you able to see my screen?
Not yet.
Okay.
Coming up.
All right. Now it's visible.
Yes, it is.
So this is the vision book. This is how the vision book looks like. It is actually 156. It's 159 pages. So it has the 56 pages, the 56 weeks for the year, and then it has the 12 months review, and then it has the 10 pillars. So when you open it up, it gives you sort of a daily focus. What you should be doing in the morning, what you should be doing. So in the morning, anything between 5 a.m. and 9 a.m. And then what you should be doing between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. The things that you should be focusing on. And then what you should be doing in the evening between 5 and 10 p.m. And then it has the 10 pillars. So this is pillar number 1, career and profession. And then pillar number 2, financial investment. Pillar number 3, spiritual and faith. And it has the spaces where you fill in or you you do a sticky note. And then pillar number 4, and then pillar number 5, pillar number 6. And then we have pillar number 7. And this material is actually copyrighted. So it cannot be, if we get it elsewhere, we just take someone to court. If someone is selling it, we just take them to court and they pay me. They pay me the amount I could have sold them for 10 years and I forget about it. And then number 8, it has the social capital. Number 9, it has hobbies and talents. I realize many people forget about hobbies and talents. Some of us, our hobbies and talents on our hobbies in our CVs look so pathetic. So when you say your hobby is drama and you are a professional, how does that drama help you? If you're not, a hobby is not a wishful thing. It's not something that you used to do when you are a child. It is something that you're doing that keeps you connected as a human being. So this section is normally forgotten by so many people. So what are your life personal interests? You write them here, and also able to either do sticky notes or do pictures if you're able to print them out. And then community contribution. Many people also forget this pillar of life, because this pillar of life is able to show your contribution to the community. And then this is the weekly review. So this is how the weekly review looks like. And then you are able to evaluate yourself for the week. And then now you're able to make sense of your performance. So just the things that I've been able to explain. So I wanted to mention that if you are able to get, the vision book together with, if you're able to buy the vision book together with the vision board. Let me just share my screen shortly. Sorry for that miss up. So if you're able to buy the vision book together with the vision board template, I'm going to give you a free coaching session for 40 minutes. We will be able to fill the 10 pillars together for the 40 minutes you're going to discuss. I'm going to sort of give you a sort of a direction of how that looks like. And right now I've discounted that cost. So you only pay 2,500. By 2,500, you get the vision book, and you get the vision board template for 2,500, and then I'll give you a free coaching session for 40 minutes just to help you get some sense of direction around it. And this is the reason why this vision board is very important, or this vision book is very important. It aligns your identity, your goals, and habits into one intentional roadmap. Number two, it transforms vague ambitions into structured, trackable milestones. And then number three, it keeps you focused, it keeps you disciplined, and it keeps you accountable throughout the year. Because you need something you can carry in your bag. This vision book is an A5. So you're able to put it in your purse, you're able to put it in your bag for the gentleman. You're also able to carry it around just on your hand. If you go to the office, if you go for meetings, it is portable. So you're able to track your milestones. It keeps you focused, disciplines, and accountable throughout the year. It provides clarity for decision making, priority settings, and allocation. You realize, friends, if you have the vision board, it reduces decision fatigue. The reason as why many people have decision fatigue is because they don't know what to do. Because first of all, they have not planned what to do when they're required to think about what to do. And then turn your personal vision into measurable progress and visible results. So this is going to be very critical as you step into 2026. If you don't have, I don't know how I can, and I'm not just saying this to sell something. I wish people could be able to invest in their growth, the massive transformation they will be able to see. By the time we get to December, and in December, we are going to do like a heavy breakfast just to celebrate milestones by the people, with the people that you're going to track this progress together. I have this copy, my wife has a copy, and each one of us, we have made a commitment to track our progress. Because a progress that you do not track, you do not know. A progress you do not track, you do not know. So this is the vision board I was talking about. When you get the vision book, you also get to have the vision board. So as I bring this to a conclusion, I know I've gone past time. This is your assignment. This is your homework. Get the personal vision book and vision board template. I'll be sharing the link on how you can be able to get a copy for yourself. And then I'll be able to give you a 40 minutes free coaching session when you buy the personal vision book and the vision board template for 2,500. Now, if this is hard, you might need to do a heavy lifting by crafting a path for yourself, which is okay. Which we possibly this masterclass has given you perspective and you want to do it alone. I wish you all the best. But taking a coaching program with Okanda will reduce the friction between your wish and your desired goal. And lastly, I see someone has lifted up their hand. Lastly, this vision board template is not vision board template. This recording is also going to be available. But now that I've given this session for free, the recording for this class is not going to be for free. So those who have not attended and those possibly would like to listen to this content one more time, the video is going to be available and the notes are going to be available. So if you want to get these slides, I've spent a lot of energy and a lot of time to just work on these slides, so I can't give them out for free. So these slides and these training materials are going to be available at only 650 shillings. But if you buy the personal vision book and the vision board template, you will get the recording and the slides for free. So this one will just be an incentive for you. So there's a lot of free things I'm giving just by you committing yourself to grow. So I will stop there for tonight. I will maybe ask if anyone has a question that I might respond to. I hope this was meaningful. I will start with my very good friend and colleague, Pastor Sam. I see your hand is up. But before you come up, let me read a few comments. So someone is saying, let me see. Okay, for the singles, I responded. You can have a close friend. Okay, that was a response. This is such a good tool. Yeah, it's a very good tool. Good job in putting together such a great tool. Very practical. Thank you. Isaac says, let me read from Isaac. Isaac says, is it possible to have a multiple identities that shape your vision? For example, I'm a dick who do not only want to build themselves up in their field, but also aspire to venture into, say, the transport business or catering and hospitality business, or even into fitness, those two different fields. How do the multiple identities emerge into what the person doesn't, so that the person doesn't lose themselves? I always say, and I'll also say it here, any identity that is conflicting with your major or with your larger vision focus, it is a distraction. So you might need to ask yourself which one is going to go through a slow, painful death. So you might say, because as a medic, as a transport, also getting into transport business and catering, these businesses can still run by themselves. So you might need to build systems and structures for your business so that you can focus your energy into the medic. Also, when you're compartmentalizing your business ideas, you should not be taking money, your salary, and then your salary is paying debts for the business, and then it's paying the workers in the hospitality. So it means one area of your life is actually emptying, is actually one or two areas of your lives are emptying one other end of your life. So that also you should be able to take that into consideration. But you can build multiple identities. I am a pastor. I serve as a pastor in CETAM. I am a coach. I am an executive director. I am an author. But these things that I do, there's no way they have conflicted themselves. There's a way they pour into each other so seamlessly, because I've been able to build structures. So do you need to have a team that helps you in transport business? Do you need to build a team that helps you in catering and hospitality, so that you don't end up becoming thin? That's also something that you should avoid. Roy say impressive. Oh yes, okay. Those are just reactions. Someone is saying, what's your take on the 12-week year as a goal-setting approach? 12-week 12-week year as I can't understand this, Liz. What's your take on the 12-week year? Liz, you might need to voice this out. I'm not able to understand that. Can someone just buy the vision board alone, the vision book alone? Yeah, the vision book is 1,800. I forgot to say that. So even in the link, you'll be able to see that. Great work on the book. I appreciate the session, sir. Definitely, I'm getting the book and vision board. Great. Once one does the purchase, will a free coaching session be online? Yeah, the free coaching session will be online. It will be online. So when you buy the book, you'll be able to book yourself a coaching session. It's an honor to be here. God bless you so much, Eugene. Asante, Nicole. Very appreciate. This is incredible. This is a great work. Okay, thank you for the comments. Someone is saying, how does one join the WhatsApp group? I'll be sharing the link. If Edna is here, can also help me do that. Thank you for the masterclass. Thank you, Eugene. God bless you and continue increasing you. Thank you, Dorothy. Let me open it up for any question and concerns before we bring this to an end. Yes, my friend, Sam, go ahead. You ask me the question now.
Thank you so much, Pasi, for such an informative and really mind-blowing session. This has been very educative, and I've been able to really learn a lot. Thank you. I really appreciate it, and may God really bless you and continue to use you in such a mighty way. I have my friend here, Manoa, who wanted to ask a few questions. Maybe I'd allow him to just go ahead and ask the questions.
Oh, that's great. That's okay.
Oh, thank you. I'm Manoa Ian. I'm actually a fresh graduate. I just graduated the 18th of this month from PC Universities with a bachelor's degree in clinical medicine and surgery. It's my pleasure to join this session. It has been quite a mind-blowing session, as Pasi have said. Jim, thank you so much, sir. You really inspire me. I follow you behind the scenes, and I learn a lot from you, especially from your socials. I have three questions. One is about the book. When I'm purchasing the book, assuming somebody did not attend this session and you envisions maybe to buy the book, will you guide them on how to fill it and maybe how to track it, or you'll just sell the book? That's
no, I don't. Okay, go ahead. That's the first question. Thank you.
And the second question, I was reading about the vision from the book, The Diary of a CEO, and you've really brought the understanding into perspective very well for me. I really appreciate that. And one thing that has been on my mind, even as you are trying to share on how we can overcome it, I've tried before working with a strategy and specifically working with a routine. I've tried the aspect of having a daily routine that is consistent, but I get to that aspect of habituation, and you find that it's difficult to continue. So how will you maybe advise, how do we create a daily routine? And in the daily routine, how do you overcome habituation in working with the daily routine? Then the last question, when you're talking about the wheel of life, the balancing of the various segments of life, can these segments, all of them, be balanced within 24 hours? I've tried to work with just to try to segment my life in such aspects, but sometimes I find it difficult to balance them within the time that I have, and probably it comes crashing onto me. And I feel like I get back to the statistic that you are sharing with us, that we find that we have tried it and it hasn't worked, so we leave it. So how can we strike a balance in the segments with the time that we have? I hope you got the 3 questions. I really look forward to meeting you in person. Thank you so much. I'm expecting the answer.
Thank you very much. Those are great questions. Let me answer them so quickly. So how do you break habituation? I think I was able to give a few strategies there. The first one was to reframe. So every time you are doing an analysis of your vision board, try as much as possible not to do it alone. Have someone who is able to hold you accountable. Someone who is able to ask you hard questions. Someone who is also able to understand your potential. One of the person who understands my potential clearly is actually my wife. My wife understands my potential, and anytime I'm not doing as I said I should do, she always reminds me, "Hey, you said you're going to do a masterclass for the guys on 29th. Do you have the poster ready?" So have someone who is also able to help you break that habituation, because habituation basically means you've become too familiar with your goals. And sometimes habituation is also a fact that you have set up a vision that scares you. And if your vision does not scare you, it means it's too small. But also, I will want to ask you, not really. This is for you to respond to your own self. Is it possibly you're suffering from analysis paralysis? You're looking at various aspects of your life, and you can go check out what analysis paralysis means. I don't have the time to go deeper into that, but analysis paralysis is where you are overthinking about what you need to do. You spend a lot of work thinking, but you never exactly do it. That also empowers your habituation. And therefore you need to look, and this book gives you an opportunity to break your goal, your pillars into small achievable goals. So week 1 of January, when we are starting week 1 of January, those guys are going to have the book. We are going to journey with them. At the end of every week, we are going to be having conversation and ask ourselves, you have evaluated the week, how does it look like? Until we get to week 56. This discussion is not just going to end today. The WhatsApp group, and I've shared the WhatsApp link to all of us, you have to make sure that you have a community of people who challenge you. And then the second thing I'll tell you in terms of habituation, come up with an evaluation strategy. If you don't evaluate your goals, it means they don't exist. If you don't evaluate your goals, it means they don't exist. If you say that you're going to write a book and by the end of the week you've not even written 1 page, it means that vision does not exist. So come up with an evaluation strategy, and the vision book gives you an opportunity to evaluate your goals every single day. About 24 hours and the wheel of life. You see, the wheel of life is not about perfection. It's about progress. It's about progress. So it is asking yourself, are you making progress? We are not seeking perfection. We may not even get to perfection. The wheel may not be perfectly aligned, but every single day we are looking for we are looking for progress. And in our next masterclass, I will be teaching you something called, I think I mentioned, the aggregation of marginal gain, looking for the 1% improvement. Every single day, just look for 1% improvement. Don't look for 1,000 ways to die. Just get to understand what is the 1% improvement that I can be able to pump into my goals. That helps you a lot. I don't know if I missed the third question. I'm trying to remember the third question. I've answered 2 questions.
I was asking if somebody buys the book and does not really know how to fill it.
Yes. Yeah, so whether you buy the book or you buy both the book and the vision board, I will give you a free coaching session. So anyone who buys the book or the book alone is 1,800, and the book plus the vision board is 2,500. But I'll just be generous enough to give you a coaching session to help you know how to use it. Okay, Liz, your hand is up. Please help me understand your question. I hope I've answered your questions. Let's hear Liz as we wind up this conversation.
Oh, hi. Thank you for the session. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, Liz, I can hear you.
So there's this book called The 12-Week Year, basically dividing your year into like the 4 quarters. But now instead of treating it like, the way you have quarter 1, quarter 2, 3, 4, it's like 1 year is summed up in each quarter. So you get to set your goals and then review every month. So you treat every week like a month instead of waiting for the end of the month. So the goal is to, get a lot done within the year instead of waiting till like the end of 2026. You're able to review every quarter, like your goals, as if you had been doing them the whole year. Don't know if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, it makes sense. And you see, that also helps in terms of breaking habituation, because even the vision book that I've created, you're able to review your goals both weekly and monthly. So, there are very many strategies, Liz. I can tell you there are 1,000. If you just go on research, you'll get 1,000 upon 1,000 of strategies. What I will say, please work with what will help you. In terms of tracking the main issue here is to track your goals. The main work here is to making sure that you're tracking your goals. You're not getting off the hook. Nothing is passing you by. You're committing yourself not to be a victim of circumstances. That every single day is documented. You're able to know where you are financially, where you are spiritually, where you are in terms of your social network. So whether you want to reduce everything into a month or into a week, that's upon you. But the most important thing is to make sure that you build a strategy that works for you, especially when it comes to evaluation. Let me surprise you guys. I am in the policy space and policy discussion space. I will tell you, Kenya has the best policies in the world, actually in Africa, not just in the world. In Africa, there are countries that have copy-pasted our policies and they are working in their own country. But most of those policies are not working for our country. Why? Because we have good policies, but we don't do policy evaluation. Because when you've done policy implementation, you have to do policy evaluation. And that is where the rubber meets the road. Same thing. Do you know someone can consistently follow your life for the next 7 days and look at the patterns? Someone can even take up your vision board and go replicate it, and they live your life, because they have understood how to maximize on the habit of evaluation, but also maximize on the ability of execution. So that's what I can say on that in that regard, Liz. I hope I've answered your question. If not, we can still have a chat around it. Thank you, Liz. Derek says, is the book going for the same price at Nuria? And if I go for the delivery option, how soon can I get it? So basically, right now, what we're doing is we are doing a waiting list, because even my publisher is yet to open. So we are doing a waiting list by the 5th of January. We'll be making sure that we have distributed all the books. Now, at Nuria, it will not be the same price, because at Nuria they normally charge for a delivery, and they charge for that process of you buying there. So you will find that at Nuria it will be around 3,000. But if you buy and you're able to get an opportunity to buy right now, we are able to do deliveries across the country. Nuria helps us a lot in terms of making sure that we do deliveries as fast as possible. But yes, they will be available at Nuria. We also have a pickup station at Sawa Mall along Moi Avenue in town, for those who are in Nairobi. For those who are outside Nairobi, these books are going to be delivered to you. Even when you go to the link, I've shared the link in the chat, and I'll be sharing it in the WhatsApp wall as well. You'll be able to just tell us where is the book coming, and we'll be dispatching the books to you. I've done a lot of deliveries across the country, so that should not be a problem. All right. Is there anyone with a question before we wrap this up? I've shared the WhatsApp link in the chat. If you have not joined the WhatsApp group, please join. I've shared the link in the chat. If you also want to buy the book, I'm also sharing the link in the chat. You can, if you are not in the link, if you can't access that, I've also shared my contact in the chat. You can also just be able to reach out 25/7. Yeah, Faith Bossy, talk to us. I see your hand is up.
Okay, I have a question. At the beginning of the session, you say that you are going to share some books that we are supposed to read in the year 2026.
Yeah, so the books, I'll be sharing them on the WhatsApp wall. So for those who are buying books, you can buy I'm just going to pick up 12 books. If you want to read many other books, you just feel free to read it for yourself. But next year, I have just taken 12 books that you're going to focus on. That is going to also pump into the 10 pillars of the vision book, so that we are not reading scattered in a scattered manner. We are reading in a focused manner. And I told you, a vision book helps you to budget for your personal growth. So that if it's buying books, you're not buying books because people are buying books. I stopped reading books because people are saying I read 4 books in a month. That's not my objective. I read books because I want to fuel my understanding and be a better communicator. So that's what I'm going to share in the wall. I'll actually be sharing all those things in the course of the night. So if you're not in the wall, you can just make a commitment to join. I see someone is saying they're not in the WhatsApp group. Okay, just check in the link I've shared. Check in the chat. I've shared the link to the. Yeah, let me do that one more time. Yeah, so I've shared the link to the WhatsApp. Please just join. Please confirm if there is an extra cost for delivery. So the delivery cost depends with where you are. Mostly, the highest amount of delivery cost is like 300 shillings if you're outside Nairobi. So the delivery part is, if you're within Nairobi, it's easy. It's like 100 shillings for delivery. Yeah. All right. So if there is no any other question, allow me to end this conversation at that point. The most of the other discussion, we're going to have it in the WhatsApp group, and I'll be glad to respond to any questions and any concerns. So thank you very much for joining this session. When is the deadline for purchase? So the purchase does not have a deadline. You can order so long as because this is for the new year. Make sure that it does not go past January, so that you're not left behind. You will be seeing a lot of conversations in the group. Where are you in terms of your progress? So that one should not sound as a strange conversation. Maybe by mid-January, you need to have your vision book as far as that is concerned. And you can pay in installments, by the way. You can do 1,000 and then you just tell us how you're going to finish the rest. That also shows that you're able to make a commitment. All right. So thank you very much. Allow me to call it quit for this moment and this time. It's been an incredible honor just to pour into you. I pray and hope that this conversation has given you perspective. So I wish you all the best in your achievements for the year. Happy 2026. 2026. Please go and crush your goals. Go and achieve them. Go and conquer those fears that you have, because the Lord God has gone before you. Many times we just need to be reminded that our present tense is actually what God has already done. And that's why he has made a commitment to walk with us. just that mindset will help you to dream more. Continue stretching your imagination. If you're yet to do a vision board or come up or populate your vision book, I will invite you to stretch your imaginations. Last year, I trusted God and I told God, I want to move out of this country and do engagements out of the country. I tell you, by March I was in Rwanda. May, I was in South Sudan. 1 month later on, I was in Tanzania. By September, I was in New York. I was actually in New York attending the United Nations General Assembly. By December, I was in Ethiopia. And that has gone on and gone on and gone on. I told God, I want to make a plane to be a personal means of transport. You know, sometimes you just need to be audacious. And I've climbed planes. Even nowadays, when people book me for speaking engagements, if it's outside Nairobi and there is an airport, I tell them to book me a flight. And these things work because God has already gone before us. And I told you, this will be my last statement. Make sure that your vision board and your vision book is a reflection of your purpose, because your purpose should be so loud on that vision board. That vision board is not just for making you feel good about life. It should be it should call you forth to living an intentional life. As a conclusion, also, we are going to, as I mentioned, we're going to have a physical masterclass, and that masterclass is mostly going to benefit people who also have the book. We're going to have a physical masterclass in Nairobi at HH Towers on the 31st of January. 31st of January. More details around that is going to come up shortly in the course of this week. So thank you very much. Allow me to make a prayer and bring this conversation to an end. Shall we pray? Our Father and our God, we want to appreciate you for tonight. Thank you for allowing us to have this conversation with these great men and women who are living a life of purpose. Their virtue of being in this call tonight is a show of their commitment to personal growth. And therefore, I pray, may you grant them grace, grant them the wisdom, even as some of them commit to buy the book, some of them, Lord, as they commit themselves to getting the coaching sessions. I pray that, Lord, you'll grant them the ability to execute on their dreams and their ambitions, oh God. We thank you for tonight. As we rest, may you be with us, cover us, and keep us safe and sound. We love you, Lord, and we honor you. In Jesus' name we pray, believing and trusting. Amen. Amen. Thank you very much, friends. Have a great night.
You too, and everyone else.
All right. Thank you very much. God bless you.